Welcome, patrons. And yes, we have a very special guest. It's not just its cat.
Oh,
We're gonna have a special person calling in parody later into the show to play our favorite game with us and you, Hypertheticals.
you okay, Rob?
It's another session of Hypertheticals, and thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for supporting us on Patreon. Means the world to us. It allows us to do goofy things like buy cameos from porn stars and stuff. That's all because of you. So thank you. Your support is always appreciated, and we love doing these bonus episodes for you. And always try to come up with fun ways to do something creative outside the normal episode structure. And so
And
we're going to be
what
playing.
I'm so sorry, Rob. I was going to say what Rob was trying to say before his stroke is that as we play hypotheticals today, we're going to have a special guest, a celebrity guest phoning in. This is the first ever episode of Celebrity Hypotheticals
Parody.
here on RIP Livecast.
Yes, and it's very exciting. Very excited. A huge friend of the show. Well, I don't know if he would consider himself
Frenemy,
a
a huge frenemy of the show.
Yes. So Hypotheticals, of course, it is a party game by Chuck Klosterman. It's just a series of cards with hypothetical questions on them that are created to spring up conversation.
And
so
Sid,
we're going to answer.
Sid, for someone who may be new, can you fill us in on who Chuck Klosterman is?
He is a music and pop culture writer for like the last 25, 30-ish years, I guess. He's a big metal enthusiast. He's written for Spin and other music magazines and platforms, and he's got books about metal. He's got books about just revisionist history of the 90s and all sorts of different stuff. And he just, these are like, some of them are pop culture related, some are not, but they are all little brain teasers meant to be a way to get to know a person better, like what really makes a person tick, as opposed to just talking about the weather or the Super Bowl. You could ask them these really specific, weird questions and really know what this person is like.
And that they do. And
yeah,
we've had a lot of revelations on these episodes.
I feel like if you're a subscriber of this Patreon, you really know us, and so we're diving even deeper and giving you even deeper look into our psyche.
Whatever fecal matter in our soul is left to dredge out, this game is doing it.
Yeah.
Metaphysical feces coming out here.
That's my favorite Led Zeppelin album.
That was after Coda. They said we got a little bit left.
Choda.
Choda.
Let's get started.
All right. Question number 1. Lost virginity redux.
Oh.
Imagine you could go back to the age of 5 and relive the rest of your life knowing everything that you know now. You will re-experience your entire adolescence with both the cognitive ability of an adult and the memories of everything you've learned from having lived your life previously. Would you lose your virginity earlier or later than you did the first time around? And by how many years?
Earlier.
So first of all, I just want to say, these, like this type of hypothetical, I kind of hate it, because if you are thrown into your body at 5 years old, but like in my case have the mind of a 40-year-old, can you imagine how traumatizing that is? Like that doesn't sound fun at all. That
Not
sounds terrible.
I think it sounds great.
I think
I will say
anxiety inducing.
I will say this. I can see pros and cons. The con would be dealing with the realities of being 5. And I'm assuming I would maintain my emotional composure and not, have tantrums about things and stuff like that. So,
but also imagine the gaslighting you would get. Like, no, you're fucking 5. Like, shut up.
Well, you're not trying to convince people that you're actually 40.
Right. Well, here's the other thing. I would be 5 and I would have to deal with certain shit about being 5. That's for sure. but I would also have the 40 whatever year old knowledge of the fact that I'm not going to be 5 forever, and I'd be able to deal with it. And I
Yeah.
just sit back and wait till I'm 10, 15, 19. I know what's coming on the conveyor belt rather than a 5-year-old who's locked into that moment. So I think, and this relates to the answer to the question, I would have a lot more ability to shape my world than I did when I was actually
Mhm.
5.
Oh, certainly. This is something I've also thought about a lot. With the losing the virginity, because I lost it pretty late in life.
Did you
Especially like
really? How old were you?
well, I mean, I would say I had two virginities. So
Yeah,
there's like,
exactly.
Well, you were
uh,
just the first time you had sex, and
whoa,
it
whoa,
was
whoa!
with a
Stop
woman.
yelling at me! Stop yelling at me!
What? Wow,
You
you
went,
need
did
some
you
more.
really?
You need some more therapy. No, I didn't say did you really. I meant did you really like? I didn't. I thought I was paying you a compliment. I didn't think it was that late, from what I remember.
Yeah. So I mean, I had sex with a woman when I was I guess 18, which I
Really? Oh, they see. I was wrong about that. I thought it was like 16,
I'm feeling very
17.
judged right now, Darren.
No, I didn't say anything was wrong with either way. I just thought it was just factually thought it was
And
18.
no, yeah, it was well, I don't want to say her name,
I
but
know. I know who it is. I know.
yeah. But I didn't lose my gay virginity until my late 20s.
Okay, so you meant
Uh,
that when you made your statement. Then that's what I
yes.
didn't understand. I thought you meant any sexual experience.
Yeah, well, like the thing is, I don't really. I mean, I guess it counts, but I mean, I was still repressing my true desires, so I don't really count it. And it's something I thought about a lot about how, like, oh, I missed out on being a whore in my 20s, but but
Well, you made it up in your 30s, so it's okay.
certainly, yeah. So that makes the
Certainly.
certainly, and well, I wouldn't even say. I mean, I still had a journey to go to until I felt even comfortable enough with myself to do whorish things. But so with that sense, I did think about like, oh, what did I miss out on by not having sex sooner? But the flip side to that is because I was so sexually repressed, it in a way allowed me to focus on my business goals more, because I wasn't out seeking dick.
That's interesting. I wonder if you'd be like penniless now if you had to have sex all the time when you're like 21.
Because it's like I did have my social life was based entirely around heavy metal and advancing metal injection and not getting laid. So I've thought about this myself. I've positioned it to myself of like, oh, would I have been as successful if I was more promiscuous in my
Ass
20s?
successful?
You would have been.
I mean,
Yes, you would have been asked.
I would have been as successful. But
Do you
also I
think?
think
Let me interrupt you there. Do you think you would have been as successful at gay dating without Grinder, which didn't exist then, and all that stuff? Like, would you have been
right,
able to go?
that is the other issue too, is like it was before Grinder and also before prep was very much widely available, so it was a little riskier to be more promiscuous when I was in my 20s. And so I don't know, but the other side of that is like, well, would I have gained the confidence that I gained when I was more comfortable in my body and like more comfortable with my desires, and also got the confidence boost of like sexual partners being attracted to me and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
you
would
got to.
that have
Sorry, go ahead.
I would say, like, would that have also had a positive effect on my like business kind of situation? And so I could see the argument both ways. What were you gonna say there?
You got to fast forward the part that we all went through, which was having myriad embarrassing sexual experiences and getting more and more comfortable, and then having confident sexual experiences later.
Well, I had to go through all of that later though
Oh,
as
did
well.
you?
Like
I thought you just hit
yeah,
the ground running once you started doing it.
no, 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 not at all. I was very insecure about my like uh ability to perform, and I required training. I needed I needed to get my reps in
Wow.
before I knew what I was doing.
We'll need to talk about this on a future episode. This is another whole drawer to delve into.
What do you mean? Like you weren't immediately good at sex, were you?
No, but
Like
I
you
just
have to.
thought because you, pun intended, entered into this endeavor later in life that you were approached it more maturely than you would
In
have.
what sense?
In the sense that if you're 18, you're just very not confident and not comfortable with yourself, whereas when you're 29 and you already had a very successful business and you're more of a mature
But how
adult,
would that give me? But how would that give me the emotional confidence?
I think you could
Like I still
handle
have that.
you could
That's
handle
not.
the pitfalls of sexual activity better as an adult.
And it's an extra decade of watching porn. You could really like learn from
Well,
watching.
the porn certainly helped me become a quick learner. Don't get me wrong; it's not like I required a lot of training, but like there was a learning curve.
And I
And
feel
also, porn is a solo experience. It's
sure.
also the having another person there, and like it's not just about like what
Do you
it's a tag team scenario.
do you
No.
think the learning curve is more difficult for a top or a bottom? Probably a bottom, right?
I mean, I can't speak to it, but I would assume, yeah.
Yeah.
But also
So
with a bottom though, you could do a lot of practice on your own. I mean, I guess as a top as well,
yeah,
but yeah,
Well,
yeah,
I want
more
to
could
point
go
out.
wrong.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's true. I
And
want
then there's
to.
more to be insecure about.
Yeah.
I want to point out that we're almost 12 minutes in, and none of us have answered this question.
Uh, right. I would say no. I don't like the idea of going back to being 5. The positive though would be like I would be rich because
But
because you would
that's
know.
not the question. The question is
Right,
it's
sure.
already happened.
Right.
It's
What do you mean
just
it's happened?
specifically would you lose your virginity sooner and by how many years?
Oh,
Sooner
I
or
see.
later and by how many years?
Oh,
That's
then
the
yeah.
question.
I mean, if I have all the knowledge I have now, yeah, I wouldn't have any of the insecurities I had. So,
Right.
oh my God,
You
yes.
you wouldn't be staring longingly at Shawn Michaels' chest and wondering why you enjoy this
Yeah, like
wrestling
what's
match
going
so much.
on? Yeah, exactly.
So how many years sooner would you have lost your virginity? Your real virginity?
You need answers.
Oh my God, I don't know. It's hard. It's.
As
I
soon
mean,
as you're,
if I have, yeah, like as soon as I'm legal, I guess. Probably before that, if I'm
you
being
wouldn't
honest.
even like when you were 16 have found a like-minded 16-year-old boy to mess
Right. Well,
around with.
that's the thing. So that's the weird thing. Like, as a 40-year-old, the type of men that I find attractive are different than the type of men I found attractive as an 18-year-old. So there might be a weird conflict in that the type of men I find attractive, it would be illegal for me to to have
Well,
sex with
but
them.
not really. Only in your mind would it be illegal.
But
Nobody
all
else would realize that it was illegal.
no, he's saying
No, I
that
mean it
he
would be
would be the
legally.
he'd
I would
be
be
the
16
the.
years old
Oh
seeking
yeah.
out a
Oh.
35-year-old
But Sid
or
did bring
whatever.
up an ethical question: whether if you're mentally
But
40,
that's
are you
also true.
grooming
Yeah.
a kid if he's your age
Yeah.
physically?
Yes. Yeah. You would be. Yes.
It's
And no one
really
would
the
know,
question
so you
really comes down to your morality.
So, and here, you're
Yeah.
right. Here's the other question: knowing that it's an ethical conundrum, would you still do it? It's knowing that you'll never go to jail. You're 16.
Yeah. I guess it depends on how good looking the person is.
Tough one. I go. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have
Go,
to be in
Darren.
those-
You go.
This is an easy one for me. I would have sex way earlier than I did. I had sex when I was 16, and I felt I was like crippled emotionally to even talk to girls before that. Like I like the kind of person I am is very outgoing, and I was like that back then with like other friends and stuff. But like when it came to like opposite sex, I was very shy, very not confident. I was a fat kid. I was athletic and fat at the same time somehow. I don't know. I just like Kevin Owens.
Yeah. I would have been
And,
way more conscious of my body image if I went back as a 40, because that is another regret of mine, that like when they were giving weightlifting classes in PE in like junior high school or whatever, like if you actually start then, you're good. You're fine. Like all your muscles will be with you for life.
And you're
And
just
that's a big
watching
regret.
other jacked kids like get sweaty and shirtless. Like it's a win-win-win for you.
But then think about the access to hotter tail that you get by being yourself a hot piece of tail.
Also,
And
Which should
all
be clear. I think I am. I just think as someone who would be more traditionally in shape, it's your range of appeal is much broader.
you could convert lots of straight weightlifting bros too. I don't know if you're
Mhm.
into doing that.
Oh, I'm so into that. That is such a fantasy. That's something but like that, yeah, like that really just comes down to confidence, which I never had
Yeah.
in my teens or 20s.
The
So
only problem with that is that you probably run into a lot of guys who will be like, so it's only gay if you suck the dick. So like you're the
yeah.
top. Those guys are gonna be.
that's fine. That's fine. I'll suck some dick.
Oh really?
Why
Wow.
not? What
I
do you
mean,
mean? What is that? That's not a bottom.
I just thought that
That's
didn't
not a
turn you
bottom.
on. Like maybe within your relationship, it might be different because there's a love factor there. But like with these people you meet up with,
It's
I
not
figured
at
you
the
wouldn't
top
want.
of my list, but why not?
And maybe you do that and they loosen up, and then you get into your
Exactly,
normal.
because while I'm sucking their dick, I'm teasing their hole too, and then they're just like, "Oh, they just
You
let
and the
go."
teasing. Oh
Bro,
my
I
God.
never had that sensation before, bro.
Exactly. Well, how am
What's
I
going
supposed to
on?
describe it, Sid? How am I supposed to describe it?
No,
Why is
it's just
teasing
that
so
it just
offensive
cracks
to
me
you?
up that that's
Don't
the
stop,
word.
That's the
bro.
word. What's the word?
Also,
What's the word?
honestly, let's like I feel like at your specific high school, there's probably a lot to choose from. I don't think you would have had to do much convincing. I think there are probably a lot of
Right.
willing participants.
For anyone listening, it was like an alt school, like a legit high school, but like with a
It
lot of
wasn't alt. It was like more of a creative art. Like they didn't have
creative arts. But I mean,
organized sports.
I'm sorry, when I say alt, I meant like the kids were alternative kids. A lot of them were like,
Yeah.
into different genres of stuff. It wasn't very mainstream.
Yeah. You'd have been going to raves. You'd have just been fucking everybody.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
was the total shut-in in high school. Nobody invited me
What?
anywhere.
Is that true? I thought you had a lot of friends, but I know you weren't like dating, but I know you had a lot of friends.
Oh yeah, I mean, I guess I did have friends, but like it was the cool, like I was not in the cool crew, I would say.
Okay.
And the hanging and all that came, I guess, later in the high school experience. Whereas the first few years, it was just nothing.
So I don't know. I think I gave my answer. I don't know, but
Yeah.
just to elaborate a little bit, I just was painfully shy around women, and I think my
Oh, so you
current
said you would do it much sooner. So how much sooner than 16? Like when would you?
as
When would you
soon
have
as
done
I
it?
could talk up a girl of my age, probably. But then again, you're in the ethical conundrum of
Yeah.
like,
Well,
am I
If
grooming a girl?
yeah, let's say we're ignoring the ethical conundrum, which I feel is a big thing to look past. I agree with you, but just for the sake of argument, let's move past that.
It's hard to move
When
past it.
like
while
like
being
like
filmed and recorded.
Yeah.
but like what I'm saying though is like what is like what regret do you have? You just have a regret of not going sooner just to like get more reps in? Is that what you
Because
mean?
like 16 is
No,
fairly young already, I think.
Yeah, like how much soon when you're 13, you're a fucking
I
dipshit.
just
I
feel
was a
like
dipshit.
before I
Like,
was 16, I think I spent a good 3 or 4 years like not even like I with a lot of regret and like girls. I like girls and I didn't even approach them, and I found out later that they were interested in me and stuff
Uh,
like that. So I think I could wipe away a lot. It would just be more for my current mental health.
it's
That
like
I could.
righting wrongs.
Yeah,
mhm.
exactly. And I
Okay.
think you
Nice.
do. I think you do learn things about yourself when you have interactions with another person.
For
So
sure.
I think
Absolutely.
I could have been a more
Especially
developed
while
person.
naked.
Even and the question is about sex, but I feel like even having relationships at that age, or even just kissing or discovering like another person's body, is something that is kind of informs you as a person. Like you making those connections with people. So I think I wish I would have done that like more extensively before. I did.
But do you also think like I don't know, like I feel at 12, 13, can you really process those feelings?
Well,
But
Like
he's in his mind, he's
forgetting
not.
that we're a 40-year-old. Yes, I
but
understand.
maybe
But like
12, 13 is probably too young. But like high school, 14, 15, I feel like,
mhm.
I was not behind my peers at that age.
I mean I was right there with you, pal.
Rob was hoping to
Just a
get
dec-
behind his peers.
a decade
But then,
later.
but then when I was 16, I immediately had a girl. I was into a full-fledged relationship right away. without any in between, like dating, kissing, spin the bottle, any of that shit. I was from
Well-
outcast among women to I have a girlfriend who's older.
Well, wasn't that Rob too, sorta? Like
Yeah.
you lost your virginity to your first relationship, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like years later, like 10 years later than Darren, when it happened for you, but it was sort of the same thing when you just jumped in with both feet.
And Rob, didn't you lose your virginity to male and female virginity to a relationship as well? Or
No.
did you? Oh, she wasn't.
No, I did. Wait, what?
Your first time you had sex with a woman was also like you were dating, like in a relationship, right?
Yes, but the first time I had sex with a man, I was not in a relationship. Like I don't.
I thought
That's
you.
but you just said yes when I asked if that's what happened.
I think he thought we were talking about the woman.
Oh yeah, I misunderstood.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, wow, I didn't know. I thought your current partner was your first sexual experience.
Nope.
So did I. Wow, you've lied to us this whole time, Rob.
I don't think he lied. I think
Think it-
my
First
memory
the fucking
fucks.
shrimp thing, then the windows. Now that, like, Rob, who are you? Do we know anything about you?
Guess not.
Rip off the fake beard. Is that even what you look like?
It looked like he was doing it.
This isn't. This isn't even my face. This is all AI.
It's a Scooby Doo episode.
Sid, you didn't answer.
Yeah, so I'm sort of in between you guys as far as my age when Darren's reaction. When I was 20. So I think I would go back and do it at the age that Darren did it. I would be 16. So 4 years.
Mhm.
I feel like cuz
Yeah, I think 16, like late high school, I think is even 13, like 14, 15, the first 2 years of high school, you're still just kind of like understanding your body. I don't know. It still seems too young.
You don't
And
understand. Well, go ahead, Sid. I don't want
there's
to step
also
on your
like for
answer.
me like there's a
Well, it
age
depends on the
gap
person.
where like the girls you're in school with go from looking like children to sort of looking like women. And I don't know that I'd want to go back any further because then I'm
Right.
fucking kids.
I
And
agree.
don't know how comfortable I would feel if I had enough game that I could like seduce an older woman. If I'm like 14 and I'm seducing like a 20-year-old, that's something.
I'll fuck
But
the
I don't
teeth.
know that even now I'm capable of that, even with my current mindset put into a younger body. I don't think I'd be
Fuck the
able to pull it
social
off.
studies teacher.
Oh, Miss Romania. That's junior high though. I
That's
don't
her
think I had any
name, or
hot-
was she a beauty pageant winner from Romania?
No, her name was Miss Romania, and she was really hot. She was, I think, my homeroom teacher, 8th grade, and a kid got in trouble, and his graduation was delayed because on the last day of school he touched her butt.
Oh,
He said,
my
"All right, now I'm leaving this. This is my last day at this school, and I've been crushing on this teacher all year long. I'm going to touch her butt when she dismisses us.
man.
And get out." And they were like, "Well, you could do that, but now you didn't graduate, so."
I dated a girl once that was like just starting out being a teacher. She was like 26. She was so hot. And she was every day she would complain to me like these kids, they just touch my ass, they touch my nipples, they just touch it.
Wait, what?
They just
They touch
grope
her
you.
nipples?
Like she was in the public school system and teaching high school, like just starting out teaching
Was
high
this
school.
Jenny?
No, but she was sorry, it was junior high. But there were kids that were left back that were like 13, 14, 15 years old, you know, and they're just like really horny, like as you normally should
damn.
be, but no boundaries, you know.
That's fucked up.
But I wanna-
dated a high
Go
what was she? You know, she was like maybe like a 9th grade teacher when I dated her. And she would comment on like kids like looking at her boobs, and she had gigantic boobs. But I don't think she ever said anything about being touched. Good God.
Yeah, slapped on the ass. Come here, teacher, you know.
Ugh.
But I wanted just to add some context because I think I perplexed the two of you somewhat. 16 is a pretty normal age to lose your virginity, but I was so crippled by anxiety and like fear of missing out. And like I said, I didn't really even have that many experiences with girls before that at all. A few here and there, but like I felt like I was so far behind everybody that
But
losing
that
my
might have just been
virginity.
other people lying about their experience level.
No, but that's
right?
true to an extent. But I think I also
And-
witnessed
and
it in
is
front of me.
but like, but also though, like is the issue really just your own kind of like maybe you just weren't ready, you know, like and you were like racing because the other people around you were doing it and you just thought this was something you needed to do, but
I felt ready. It was a big relief when I finally did start having the relationship felt better to me than having the sex, I would say.
Mhm.
I started to question whether I could actually relate to another human being like in the way that other people do so easily,
I still wonder that about myself sometimes.
Yeah, me too. In a
Sometimes it
different
doesn't
way.
go away.
A more adult way, I would say.
Well, let's check in with our special guest.
yeah.
We have him on the line.
He's going to answer all these questions.
Um, we haven't asked him the question before. And Sid, do you want to?
Oh, you all right? Jesus.
Having some burps all of a sudden. Do you want to ask him the question, please?
Imagine you could go back to the age of 5 and relive the rest of your life knowing everything that you know now. You will re-experience your entire adolescence with both the cognitive ability of an adult and the memories of everything you've learned from having lived your life previously. Would you lose your virginity earlier or later than you did the first time around, and by how many years?
Oh, look who it is. It's our good
Oh!
friend Dave Mustaine. Dave, how do you answer?
This is a dumb question because
Oh.
obviously, like anybody else, I already got laid by the age of 5. I mean, who comes up with these things? Every normal guy lost their virginity by age 5, right? Who wrote this? Some nerd. And here's the thing, guys. This time
Yes.
travel stuff doesn't work. I can tell you firsthand because I spent a significant portion of my fortune on a time travel device, and I've gone back to 1981 at least 40 times. That's why I look so much older than my age. And James Hetfield didn't want to be my friend, not even once out of all those times. Either time and space are immutable and all outcomes are predetermined, or that machine is a useless piece of shit.
Oh, okay. Well, that
Wow.
makes sense.
All right.
Okay, well, thanks for that, Dave. We appreciate that.
How old do you think the person he fucked at 5 was? Like, do you think it was a classmate or like a sexy babysitter?
Miss Romania.
Oh no! Oh my god! When Dave Mustaine was 5, Miss Romania was probably like -10.
Yeah.
No.
So-
But he was fucking the actual Miss Romania from
Right.
the Miss
Oh,
Universe thing.
Well, he's from California. All the teachers are hot there. Everybody's hot.
that's
Yeah.
the song "Hot for Teacher." It's probably based on someone from California.
Yeah.
All right. So what's the next pitch?
The next pitch?
The next question. I mean.
Before we do the next question, can you Google Miss Romania, or get that done before we exit the show? At least I don't have to do it right now. You can ask the question.
Okay, yeah. Let me ask.
Maybe
since
like
I'm-
while one of us is answering. You can
She's
look up
the
Miss
thing
Romania.
is she's probably married now, so I don't know if she's Miss Romania
Oh.
anymore. She's probably Mrs.
Oh.
Gerschleider or something. I don't know.
What a choice!
All right, this next one, the tumor.
Oh, this makes me already cringy.
It's not a tumor.
Oh well, then I'll just
Yeah.
You have a brain tumor.
Oh.
Though there's no discomfort at the moment, this tumor will unquestionably kill you in 6 months. However, your life can and will be saved by an operation. The only downside is that there will be a brutal incision to your frontal lobe. After the surgery, you will be significantly less intelligent. You will still be a fully functioning adult, but you'll be less logical. You will have a terrible memory, and you will have little ability to understand complex concepts or difficult ideas. The surgery is in 2
So I'll
weeks.
just be very stoned.
Yeah, you just be yourself. How do you spend the next 14 days?
That's a really hard. That is a very depressing thought of like knowing in 2 weeks. You know,
You're just
I'm
gonna
like
be a dumbass.
a dum because I feel like even though I am of the mind, not for long, I guess, toy, that ignorance is bliss. I very much love my logical brain and my ability to do that. I'm not sure what I would do. Like, what could I really do? I'd probably go on some vacation or something to Europe. I'll do a cruise through Europe for 2 weeks and just like live it up. Because what else was there to do?
I'd be too depressed to do anything. This is like one of those that hits all of my fears.
No, I take it back. Heroin. I'll do heroin for 2 weeks because who gives a shit?
Well, you won't be able to do your job. You still have to be a fully functioning adult, and then you'll get addicted to heroin, and then you'll lose whatever job you have, bagging groceries, whatever.
I don't have a job right now, so I'm good.
No. Okay.
Like this is me right now. Like
I don't. I fear, getting Alzheimer's. I fear whatever Robin Williams had. He killed himself over this. when you lose your creative ability, you lose your ability to remember things, people you love, and stuff like that. Like that freaks me the fuck out. And brain tumors are also a specific thing that, for some reason, I just hear the word and I cringe. So this one, I really hate Chuck Klosterman for this one. But I have to give an honest answer. I think I'd be too depressed to do anything. I'd probably curl up in a ball and just stay in my room.
Well, like you wouldn't want to treat yourself to anything?
No, I
Like,
wouldn't
while
be
you're
in the
depressed?
mood. I wouldn't be in the mood to do that. I know when I've in the past when I've been depressed, like I retreat into a ball, into a shell.
That's typically what I do as well.
That's probably what would happen. And just think about how fucked up the situation is, and that I can't change it, and then just whine and like wring my hands over that.
Sid?
Well, my answer sort of requires the two of you to be really good teammates. Because I think, and maybe this is just indicative of how empty my life is otherwise, but I would want to spend those 2 weeks banking as many of these podcast episodes as possible, because it's like the last evidence of me as my full self.
I'm here
And
for
I'm
you.
going to be a useless co-host after those 2 weeks. So let's crank out as many of these as we can now.
Well, you could be our crackhead Bob after that.
Yeah, well, that's true. But I'd still want as many full strength Sid episodes banked as possible.
All
So
right,
maybe
let's
we
do
do
it.
one a day for those 14 days. And we get like 7
Okay.
months worth of Patreon episodes covered.
Sure.
And the ironic thing is every day would be more of these hypotheticals.
Oh, no. That's fine. But yeah, so that would be, I would just spend it doing this with my pals.
Flattered.
All right, let's check in with our special guest, see how he would do it.
Wow, this one's brutal. I am so coldly logical and intelligent, and everything I do is perfectly rational and measured, so it's hard for me to imagine an existence where I act completely impulsively and can't think straight, or be the generally incredible wisdom-endowed oracle that I am. I wonder what my music would sound like. Probably a lot like Load. Oh yeah, I forgot to answer the question. How would I spend the 2 weeks? Probably by calling up Alex Jones and my friends in the CIA and finding out who shot me with the brain tumor gun, and beating his ass with my ninjutsu.
Okay, all right. Well, what is ninja? I didn't know that ninjutsu is a practiced martial art, but I guess
Yeah,
it's
that's
one
like
made
the
for-
art of being a ninja.
Oh,
That's what they call
I
it.
see.
I want that brain tumor gun. That sounds fun. You shoot it at other people.
You've got to use it responsibly, Sid.
No, I would not use that.
It's a fearsome weapon.
Willy-nilly, I would be willy-nilly brain tumoring people. I've
right,
talked about before how like my dream superpower is to like shoot a terminal illness at someone. So that is just a brain tumor gun is exactly that. It is great.
A lot of times when like in political circles, like conspiratorial political circles, they talk about how the CIA has a heart attack gun. And like that's what they shot at Bernie Sanders because he was getting too close to the presidency.
Oh my God.
So the heart
There was
attack
also
gun,
whatever it was it in Cuba where there was like some like audio beam played at the US embassy and people were having it?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean,
it turned out to be crickets, honest. They called
Is
it
that what it
Havana
was?
syndrome. Yeah, it was exposed to be a hoax.
I feel like I saw like 3 different articles of like, hey, remember that thing? It turned out to be this, and it was 3 different things. So I don't even remember what the last.
It was absolutely ended up
True
being
one.
a hoax. The conclusive ending is they did an investigation and there was no such thing as Havana syndrome.
Actually, it turned out to be crickets. Like that's legit. And also, the people who were supposedly afflicted with Havana syndrome got like a 6-figure payout from the U.S. Treasury. All these diplomats just got free money for this hoax and haven't given it back. In fact, I think they gave that money out after it was shown to be a hoax. Or maybe not even as a hoax the right word. I'm not sure. Like maybe it was just they jumped to conclusions or whatever.
Yeah.
I see a NPR post from like 3 weeks ago that says it's still not conclusive what it was. See, that's why like I think there's still like multiple different versions of this story going on. So I don't know what.
I don't know if NPR is the best like source because they're the point is that it's like this was all the U.S. State Department's saying that this is like Russia and Cuba fucking with us. So of course NPR is going to be like, Yes, the government is correct.
I don't know. Either way. Are we on to the
Anywho,
next? Yeah. Next
yes.
question?
Next
The
question.
countdown.
Scared.
Rob, could you do that for the entire time I'm reading?
Mhm.
You are presented with a strange challenge. Someone dares you to count backward from 300 to 0. If you succeed at this simple request, you will be given $25,000 in cash. However, if you misspeak, get any digit incorrect, or make any mistake whatsoever, you will immediately be doused with gasoline and burned alive. Do you attempt this challenge?
Okay, so
need
I was so distracted thinking, what do I get if I complete the challenge?
$25,000.
No,
I would
That's not
do it.
that much.
Easy. It's easy. It's not that that's that much money, but that's easy to do. But I would have to ask a couple of like parameters, though.
Okay.
Like what constitutes getting something wrong? For example, if I go 395, 394, is that a loss? Because I said, I don't think I got a digit wrong.
I don't think that counts as misspeaking or getting a digit in.
All right.
That's not a mistake.
All
I don't
right.
think
And
that-
Yeah, what if someone's standing in front of you, Darren, going 207, 204, 500?
well, that's a different challenge.
Yeah, that's not mentioned in this. That's not
That would make me.
someone could do that
That would.
Would
I
you do
feel,
that, Rob, just to fuck with Darren?
to get me
make
burned
sure he's
alive?
doused with gasoline? I'm saying
Why not
that
just
that
shoot
is the
me?
risk that you're taking. What if someone just does it's a
No, Well, that's why I said I should clarify, because I
Mhm,
think
mhm.
I'm putting my life at risk. I want to know
Yeah.
the parameters of, what constitutes a disqualification of this bet, and also what constitutes pure, like, reasonable error on my part. So, like, if I get a Charlie horse and I go 210, ow, fuck, like, does that count as me losing? Or if I hit every number in order without saying it incorrectly, I feel I should win the bet. If so, then yes, I can do that easily in my sleep.
Now, I do want to add, these cards were written 13 years ago. So this is $25,000 in 2010 money.
It's not that
So
much.
we need to like raise it for inflation, I think,
Okay,
30 grand,
which might make it more appetizing.
probably
let's see. I'll do it
25
right
to
now.
30 grand.
Shoot
But
the
even
year.
still, it's not a ton of money,
Yeah.
but it's easy money, I would say.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I tend to like if I speak for a long period of time uninterrupted, I trip over my words and I talk too fast. I feel like I would fuck it up and I would be burned alive.
How long
Yeah.
do you have between numbers?
It doesn't say.
No clock?
No, it doesn't mention a clock.
So you could be very, very cautious. Can you read off of cards?
It doesn't say anything about props one way or the other.
300, 299. Take your time. Be
It
careful.
would be
still-
34,000 in today's dollar. It's still not enough.
Yeah, I don't. It's
Well,
not
how
enough
much-
to
risk
risk
my life?
How much would it take for you to do that?
Maybe $1 million after taxes.
Yeah, I think we need to get into the millions before I'm willing to risk my life for something like that. Because this is like, for me at least, like this is Sid. Like, what is Sid doing with $1 million anyway?
Mhm.
Probably just still stay at home. I might eat fancier food, and then it would just make me die sooner.
It would enhance the quality of whatever it is that you do.
Yeah, but like by not that drastic of a degree that I should risk my. Well, that's the other thing. Like, if my life isn't that great, then what's the harm risking it, right? Like, I don't know which way to go with this.
It's just.
But I
seems
think
like
no. At 25,000, I say no.
This is just such a
Gotta
minimal
go with your gut.
risk to me. This is a minimal risk. This is what I do. My head.
There's a
counts
potential risk of death.
Yeah.
My head counts numbers backwards and forwards. I'm an expert at this.
What
It's
if
like
you just have
asking
a
Michael
moment of
Jordan to-
ADD?
It's like asking Michael Jordan to win a slam dunk contest for his life in his prime, or something like that. Asking Tiger Woods to hit a good tee shot.
And Rob,
Okay,
you
let's-
answered and you said no.
No, I wouldn't do this.
All right, what does
Let's
our friend
check-
think?
Let's check in with our special guest.
Let's see. For $25,000, I can risk my life being burned alive with gasoline, or I can do 8 half-assed cameos in my shart-stained sweatpants from aisle 6 in Whole Foods next to the sauerkraut, or while eating corn nuts in my man cave. Real tough decision. Let me sleep on it and get back to you.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
It's a good point.
Dave Mustaine
Big
doesn't need
time in
25
us.
grand. So we're on the same page.
We learned that he shorts his sweatpants while he's doing his cameos too. The big
I
admission.
feel like we could have guessed that one. The fact that he wears those sweatpants to Whole Foods, though, like, if money is such
Well,
a non-object for him, he should be able to get some new sweatpants.
He doesn't want to
He-
have to change pants. He's in his pants.
He likes people smelling his shorts.
It's a
It's
power
not a
move.
matter of not
He
wearing pants.
liking the shirt.
He loved the motherfucking shirt. Fuck to change the pants.
Isn't there some story about Iron Sheik sharding or something, or shitting his pants?
I think there was something with him pissing when he was on like Opie and Anthony or something.
Or wait, maybe
Yes.
it was the boner while giving the camel clutch. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
Oh
of.
yeah.
Oh, that's a famous one.
Yes. You know,
He got such a boner from beating up Hulk Hogan. He was so turned on.
what else? We
You're
got, Sid?
Mr. Bullshit Hulk Hogan.
All right, this next one. You're the boss. And this is a long one. This is a very, very wordy one. So buckle in. One morning, you awake and immediately feel strange. You get out of bed and realize that you are inside a posh hotel room you've never seen before. There is an attractive red-headed stranger sleeping in the bed alongside you.
Already, I don't agree. No such thing as an attractive redheaded stranger, but okay.
Sorry, Sean.
Damn.
You frantically get up and rush into the bathroom. You look into the mirror. Much to your utter amazement, the image looking back at you is Bruce Springsteen. Somehow you have magically become Bruce Springsteen. You start talking to yourself, and the voice you hear is Springsteen's speaking voice. You quietly sing to yourself, and it sounds like Springsteen's singing voice. You walk back into your hotel room and see an acoustic guitar. You attempt to play it, but your musicianship is identical to how it was when you were your previous self. In other words, you have Bruce Springsteen's physical body and vocal cords, but you have your own mind and skills. And all of your experiences and memories are unchanged. Your knowledge of Springsteen's lyrics and the details of his personal life are the same as they always were. You are inside Springsteen, but you are still yourself. Your brain is unchanged. Now the question. You open the door of the hotel room and see a copy of the Los Angeles Times. You flip to the entertainment section and discover that Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band are scheduled to perform a concert that night. What do you do in this situation? How do you proceed?
Who goes first?
I'll go
Darren, you
first.
Oh, you go
Oh, okay,
first.
Darren, go first.
Oh, you can go.
All right. I think I would first off, like, just to be a dick, I would cancel the concert and break up the band and retire from music, just to like fuck over a rich person. And then I would spend my fortune and the rest of my life trying to figure out how to get the hell out of Bruce Springsteen's body. No, hold that. Break up the band, cancel the concert, transfer all my money into Sid Capsonell's bank account. No. That doesn't work either. Hold on. Transfer half of my money into Sid Capsonell's bank account, and then use the other half of my money to find out how the hell to get out of this 70-something-year-old man's body and back into my normal body.
Yeah, you don't have much time. You're on the
Yeah.
clock.
Get cracking. So that is how I would proceed.
I would argue that Bruce Springsteen in his 70s is probably in better health than Sid in his 40s,
in
but
general, but I
close.
think I still probably have the longer lifespan than Bruce at this point.
I agree with that. But not yeah, that's a fair point though, Rob.
toy. Well, I would agree. I'm definitely not getting on stage and embarrassing myself.
But you're embarrassing Bruce Springsteen.
Right,
But I'm Bruce Springsteen. I'm me. It's me suffering the embarrassment. Like,
But you
I'm
don't
the
know
one
for
being
how long.
heckled.
But
Yeah.
you never have to feel the after effects of being heckled. 'Cause it's
I also
him.
feel like Bruce Springsteen's adoring fans, no matter what he did on stage, they would not heckle him.
And I would
Agreed.
also add that, there's a way out of this if you really decide you want to perform, which I wouldn't give a shit about too much. I mean, maybe it might be interesting as a life experience because I'm never going to play to 50,000 people or
Yeah.
whatever. But, why not just say, I broke my hand. I'm so sorry. I can't
Yeah, I
play
can't
the
play
guitar.
guitar.
but
Yeah, I
I'm
have
gonna
COVID.
sing for you.
Just have like a prompter. He probably has a prompter anyway with his lyrics.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
how
that's
big,
right. It's not the singing voice. It's just the guitar that he can't play. You can't play,
Or the
right? You can only play as
tambourine.
yourself.
I don't know how big that fucking that
Yeah,
font
I
is
guess.
on that
See,
prompter from his
I
gear.
guess the problem for me is I don't like Bruce Springsteen's music.
Yeah,
Like, not that I
it's
think it's
fine.
bad. It's like it's fine.
Well, could you
I
maybe
never got
answer
into
this
it.
question with someone that you would want to perform as?
So you're saying I am in Madonna's body?
Is it Madonna? Is that
Oh,
who? I
no.
thought, silly
No,
me. I thought you'd pick a metal musician or like a dance.
I just thought like what would be the funniest answer, and that was the first thing that came to mind. But
Frankie
um,
Palmieri would have been the funniest answer.
Are you
no,
Madonna
let's say it's
now? Or?
Metallica. Let's say it's Metallica. You know, like and I turn into James Hetfield. Would I want to perform a Metallica concert, knowing I could deliver the vocals? Arguably, that James would deliver it, but
Well, you have his
uh,
voice. So.
yeah, I have his voice. I guess it would be fun to do a Metallica concert and see what it's like to feel like James Hetfield. Like, you know, if I'm changing the question to so that like it would be
Right.
something I would desire, yeah, I would do the concert. And I think that's a good call. You know, James Hetfield has had plenty of accidents with his hands, with fire and all that. So yeah, I think that would be cool. I would come up with some sort of excuse, like, yeah, I say I broke my wrist or something, cannot play guitar, have the guitar tech play guitar, and then just perform that. And now here's the thing, Sid, you said you would transfer half the money to your personal bank account. Wouldn't, like, if let's say the body swap happened and you're back in your own
So is
body?
Bruce Springsteen in my body then? Is that the question?
Well, no, then Bruce Springsteen is now himself again. He's going to go check his bank account and be like, where did half my money go? And it says you transferred half of it to Sid Capsdale. Bruce Springsteen is coming for your ass.
How? What
Money's
can
gone.
he legally do?
The mafia.
According to the
He's gonna
entire
beat you up.
world, Bruce Springsteen transferred this money to Sid. So what legal recourse would he have?
It's just
What are
a
you gonna
nice
say?
thing he did for a humble man from Brooklyn.
Yeah, I was changed out of my body into a man from Brooklyn. Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna believe that? I think he's a doddering old fool. You know?
Perfect crime.
So
That is the question though. Is Bruce Springsteen in my body while I'm in his? Or am I just like asleep somewhere unconscious until I swap back?
Yeah, Bruce's soul went into like limbo somewhere.
Imagine how that's the real question. Imagine how Bruce Springsteen would feel if he woke up in your loser ass body.
That's his clostermix question. What if you're Sid?
Fucking nightmare. Oh my God.
You
I
have
sound
lost
like this.
You've lost your glorious, sexy voice, raspy voice, and you're Sid now. But you can still play guitar.
No, you don't have one.
Right. You're just Sid, but you have your musical talent.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite question.
And does anyone care about Bruce Springsteen's guitar playing? Like, that's so secondary to everything else he does.
yeah,
Right. But he still he's competent at
Yeah.
the guitar, I guess. He could.
But I feel like if he did a concert without a guitar, I don't think anybody would really care.
What if he went as Sid and recorded an album of covers in Sid's voice of Bruce Springsteen songs?
Oh my God.
And it just went number one.
Oh!
Now he's rich.
he's like Bob Dylan now.
And
So he's just going to succeed no matter what he does in what body.
And he starts living healthy, and he gets to live an extra 40 years, whereas he would have probably lived 10 more. He likes it. He's not even going to switch back.
God
He's going
damn
to
it.
make
That's a
all
good
that
question,
money.
like,
he's going to make that money back organically.
Could Bruce Springsteen recreate his success if he didn't have the cachet of being Bruce Springsteen?
Right.
Yeah.
And is his voice that fucking great anyway?
Yeah.
Or his guitar playing for this man, for the purpose of this question?
I think if he started over now, people would just say he was a bad Bruce Springsteen ripoff, and that would be the end of it.
No, Rob, what I meant by the voice is that, well, he doesn't have the voice now, and he has Sid's voice, but was his voice that great anyway when he was Bruce Springsteen? You know, it's not like what
I think so. It's pretty iconic.
It's iconic, but it's more about the lyrics and the songwriting, I would say.
It's a time and a place kind of thing.
He's not quite on the Bob Dylan section, but I mean, you know, he's in that area of the store.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see how our frenemy would respond here. Let's see.
You're going to think this is crazy, but I have had this same exact dream before.
Oh.
I'm about to do a concert for my adoring fans, and I realize that somehow all my good looks and talent are gone, and I suddenly can only play guitar like some no-talent loser piece of shit like Bruce Springsteen. Just the thought of being in that sweaty old hairy body and wearing those arthritis cream-stained jeans gives me the willies. I don't even want to think about this. I'm going to go to a mirror and see if I'm still gorgeous and have talent. BRB, let me know when we get to the next question.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize Dave Mustaine uses phrases like BRB.
I love how fixated he is on stained pants.
Yeah.
The shart stain, the cream stains.
Mhm.
Everybody in this world's got stained pants for some reason.
All right.
Insight into the psyche.
Let's do one last question.
The porn painter. What could this be? This
Uh-oh.
is an intriguing title. You need to have the inside of your home painted. A thorough online search of available professional painters indicates that one candidate is especially ideal for your needs.
Oh, yeah.
He has earned high approval ratings from past employers and is relatively inexpensive. However, when you contact him by phone, he mentions one strange detail about his work habits.
Uh-oh.
He insists on watching pornography while painting. Don't worry, I don't masturbate to it. It's just for entertainment, he says. But it's the only way I like to paint. This being the case, I will need to use your DVD player to view my personal collection of erotic films while I work. I may also use your cable service to purchase on-demand or pay-per-view pornographic movies, but I will itemize any movies I watch and subtract them from the cost of your overall bill. Do you employ this pornography enthusiast as your house painter?
Yeah, why not?
Oh,
This
yeah,
is-
like
this
the
seems like a
implication
win-win.
is- Yeah, like this guy is the perfect guy for my job, and he just wants to watch a little bit of porn, not jacking off while doing it. What do I give a shit?
Yeah,
What's
this
the
is
difference if he wants to watch porn or wants to watch a sports game or wants to watch?
It might make some people uncomfortable.
Not me.
this would be like
I'll
a
be in
good-
the other room watching porn.
How do you know? Maybe he likes your
Wait,
porn.
hold
Yeah.
on. Is it straight porn or gay porn? Because if it's straight porn, he's out. Gross. That is
I mean,
inappropriate.
This seems like it would be not only would I get my house painted well, I'd also have a cool story to tell people. Like you wouldn't believe it. It'd be like Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's this guy. He paints, he's the best. He's reasonably priced. Thing is, he watches porn in the house while he's painting. It's the
At
weirdest
full
thing.
volume.
Yeah, but I don't doesn't bother me. In fact, I'm not even there. I let him paint and watch the fucking anal gate porn, and then I come back and the house is done and he's on his way out.
Yeah, I think for me the same. Like I'm more concerned with saving money than any discomfort. As long as he doesn't do anything to my cats while I'm out and he's watching his porn and painting.
Yeah, that's
Knock yourself out.
This is a rare, easy one. I think we needed that
Hmm.
palate cleanser. There's some very tough ones today.
Yeah, we're all on the same page here, I think.
You want me to reread it for Dave so he gets
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
full girth of the question?
Yeah, he was out looking at the mirror. So Dave, let's get Dave back on the phone, and you can read the question to him again.
All right. You have to have the inside of your home painted. A thorough online search of available professionals indicates that one candidate is especially ideal for your needs. He has earned high approval ratings from past employers and is relatively inexpensive. However, when you contact him by phone, he mentions one strange detail about his work habits. He insists on watching pornography while painting. Don't worry, I don't masturbate to it. It's just for entertainment, he says. But it's the only way I like to paint.
The man loves to see a good cum shot.
It inspires him. It's like Jackson Pollock.
Yeah.
This being the case, I will need to use your DVD player to view my personal collection of erotic films while I work. I may also use your cable service to purchase on-demand or pay-per-view pornographic movies, but I will itemize
part-
any movies and subtract the cost from your overall bill.
Sorry, Dave, if I could just interrupt. That part to me is so funny. Like, he watches so much porno that he might have, in the time that he's in your house working,
He might run out of
have
his own.
Yeah, he might go through his whole collection and he needs fresh porn. You can't
Yeah.
watch the same porn over
He wants the
again.
new releases. Maybe somebody's had an augmentation done since he last bought a DVD. He wants to see what they look like now. Or like somebody like Natasha Nice used to have pubes, but she's finally shaved the pubes, so it's like a whole
Oh,
new
I get
person.
that. Yeah. Like I understand. Yeah, usually, sometimes also it's the other way around too. Like there's some gay porn stars that get too many tattoos, and they're no longer attractive to me. And I like to
Mm.
see their porn from the pre-tattoo era,
The
so I can
virgin
understand.
flesh,
Yes.
untainted.
So,
Do you
Dave, what's the question for Dave?
do you employ this pornography enthusiast as your house painter?
Let's see.
I already do. His name is Raul. I found him on Craigslist. He
No.
does such a great job that I keep trying to find things for him to paint. You might laugh, but I found like 8 new pornos doing this, and they're awesome. I wish there was some other quicker way to find free porn, but you know as well as I do, that's just not scientifically possible.
Dave, the internet. There's
He likes
limitless
analog porn. Dave likes
Oh,
analog
is
porn.
he?
He's old school.
He doesn't want to use search engines. He doesn't want to use a hub of some sort.
No.
Right.
It's the DVD case is good because you could put tissues in there. So when you open the DVD and there you go, you got your
and then
cleanup kit.
like, oh, I've watched this one already
Because there's no tissues in it.
It's like yeah. Well, no, if there is tissues in it,
No,
it's
but
a
the
use-
tissues are for when you do watch it.
Oh, I see.
It's
see.
not
So
used tissues. You throw the tissues away when you're done. You
I,
disgusting pig.
I thought you would mark it like, yes, I came on this day for this DVD, so that you know not to
Well, you
watch
can
the
put
same
a little
scene too many
post-it in there with that information if you feel like.
It'll be like, checking out of the library. You put the date when you return it. Same with the loads.
Yeah.
I busted a nut to this on this date.
You review like where did you leave off? Which scene is the best? Do all the scenes have anal? Only some of them.
Right. We've learned so much
Yeah.
today. I want to thank our friend Dave Mustaine, parody. Don't sue us. And thank you for tuning in and hanging out with us. And we're curious, would you answer different than us? With any of these hypotheticals, feel free to leave a comment with your answers or hit us up in the Discord and let us know. Until then, see you at the middle of the month. We love you.
We love you. Bye-bye.
Dun, 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 dun.